Hey, welcome to Vance Tried It. Today, we're going to be making some Buckeye Dip. Now, Buckeyes are this wonderful candy with peanut butter and chocolate. And if you want to see me make some actual Buckeyes, let me know down in the comment section. Hey, while you're down there, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and ring that bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. But we're going to be turning the Buckeyes into a delicious dip. So we're going to start with making our own whipped cream. So what I have here is just a little over 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. And so whenever you're making your own homemade whipped cream, which is in my opinion way better than like a Cool Whip or the store-bought whip topping, it's not going to be sweet, but you can make it sweet by adding some powdered sugar in there, about a tablespoon for every 3/4 of a cup of whipping cream. But when I'm using it for a recipe like this that's already sweet, I don't put any sweetener in it, and I think it works way better. It kind of cuts down the sweetness of the other stuff. You could use a whip topping from the store, but once again, that has seed oil in it. We're trying to avoid those seed oils. This is just way better, and it also cuts down some of the sweetness. So about 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream whipped up in your mixer is going to give you about the same amount of whipped cream as in one of those small containers of Cool Whip that you get at the grocery store. So let's go ahead and get this whipped up right here. We'll whip this up and then we'll get back to you when this is all done. Okay, so our whipping cream is done whipping, and we're just going to go ahead and put this into another bowl, and then we're going to go ahead and use this mixing bowl for the rest of our recipe. We're just going to get the bulk of our whipped cream out of here. And then we're just going to go ahead and use the same bowl. We don't really need to clean it. It's not going to hurt anything to have it just like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put in here 1 cup of powdered or confectioner sugar. And we're going to add to that 8 ounces of cream cheese. Let's get that all down in here. And anytime you're making any sort of a recipe like this with the cream cheese, it is always good, especially if you have something like powdered sugar in there, to go ahead and whip up our cream cheese with the powdered sugar. But if you don't have powdered sugar, just whip it up by itself and get it nice and soft. It's already been sitting out for about an hour out here, so it's already a softened cream cheese, but we really want to get it really whipped. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to start off with slow because we have powdered sugar in here. So we're going to start off slow. And what's happening right now is that powdered sugar is starting to incorporate in with that cream cheese. And so once there's not a whole lot of powdered sugar in there, we can go ahead and start kicking up our speed. And we're wanting that to get like a really nice whipped sort of texture. And so just imagine you're going to the store, you're buying a cake and it has that whipped topping on it. That is kind of what we're looking for. That's really basically what we're making. We're making an icing. Like we could put this on a cake, but we're going to use this instead as the basis for our Buckeye dip. And so we have that all whipped up. And we're going to now add to the party here 1 cup of peanut butter. Just like this. And while we're over here, we're going to head and scrape down the sides. Just like this. Getting all that kind of back into the mix. It's always good to have 2 spatulas whenever you're doing something like this, because whenever you're using the first spatula, still a lot of stuff's going to get on there. And so 2 spatulas let you kind of get as much as you can off of the spatulas so you don't leave any of the goodness behind. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to whip this up a little bit more. Once again, we're going to start on low until it starts to look like it starts to incorporate, and then we can start to pick up the speed of our mixer. Okay, so we got that mixed up, and now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and we're just going to give it a little bit more mix. And we're going to go ahead and take this beater out for just a second here. We'll just set it off to the side because we're going to use it again here in just a minute. We are almost done with this dip. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our homemade whipped cream. We're going to put this back into our bowl. And now remember, I said Buckeyes is peanut buttery and chocolatey. So what I have here is a cup of mini chocolate chips. We're going to put those in there. We're going to get everything off of this spatula that we can so we don't leave any goodness behind. Just like that. We'll put our beater back on here. We actually should have done this before we put the beater on, but it's never too late. We're just going to scrape off the sides a little bit. Okay, and now this time when we mix this all up, we want to keep it at a low speed. We want to go to the lowest speed we have, and we want to leave it there because we don't want that whipped cream to break down. So let's go ahead and get this mixed up. And that's all it took. So now I'm going to do a couple things. Let me grab a paper towel. All right, so I'm going to put this right back into this original bowl because nothing in there is going to hurt this dip, but I'm just going to clean off the outer edge a little bit so it'll just look nicer in there. And then I'm going to take my dip. Once again, I'm going to scrape off the sides, and I'm going to make sure I get scraped down on to the bottom. Get everything off the bottom that I can. If there's any of this whipped cream in there, I'm going to try and get that incorporated down into my dip. make sure all my chocolate chips are evenly dispersed. And so you just want to just finish it up by hand. Really, you're just going until you don't see any white splotches in there, just like that. And then you can just put it right back into our bowl here, just like this. And then we'll just make sure we get all this out of here that we can. Just like that. And look, you can go just right there if you want to. But if you're taking this somewhere or you have guests coming over, just give it a nice little spatula across the top. Just make it look nice in there. Just like that. Easy cheesy. So we have that all made. And now you can use a lot of different things to dip this out with. I like animal crackers. I like vanilla wafers. I like Teddy Grahams. But today we're going to be using graham crackers. So let's see what this is like. That is so good. So you have that chocolatey flavor with the peanut butter. That's always a great combination. And that homemade whipped cream really just cuts the sweetness down so it's not overwhelmingly sweet. And it all just works so well together. Let's get another bite. Just like this. And you see it just comes out so nice. It's just the right texture in there. It just makes for a nice, sweet little treat that you can set out hors d'oeuvre counter any time of the year. You can just have it set aside for your treats, for company's treats, however you want to make it. It's simple to make, it's tasty, and the bottom line is, I tried it, and you should too. Which is, in my opinion, way better than like a Miracle Whip. Not a Miracle Whip. Let me start that over again.